Oh my God.
My imagination was running away with me.
I see there looking, I go, what? What are you talking about?
Just want to see if y'all are listening. No, from 1 hour to 2 hours, of course, during our drive time show. We're really excited about that and hope you folks can come out and share the excitement with us at Cafe Positano. We'll do a live remote broadcast. Ken's going to bring the Shriners out. He's talking about bringing an airplane out now. I don't know what he means by that. Mike's going to be there. We'll be there.
You're going to fly that in?
I doubt it. I'm going to just be in the back corner eating spaghetti.
That's it. That's right. You got it. It's great Italian food. If you want to make a reservation for that night, or any night for that matter, at Cafe Positano, you know it's graduation season, so it's a great place to have a graduation party.
Ooh, they better make reservations now.
Yeah, 407-774-8080. That's the number at Cafe Positano, 407-774-8080. Of course, our phone number is 407-774-8255. Before we went to the break, we were talking about the situation in Iraq and more importantly about how we and our president are being perceived around the world. And the problem is not just Barack Obama now, though. The problem goes a little bit deeper than that. And Mike's got a story that I think will point that out.
So you're reflecting on just the training of the Americans through sports and through our discipline and business?
Well, yep, that. And
I do reflect on that. A lot of these countries, just because most of our children have been brought up playing one sport, be it baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, whatever, and they've been taught discipline from a very young age, and they've been taught that, take instruction. They've taught to try to achieve at the highest level possible, and that's what we teach our children, both on the academic side too.
To try to extend yourself.
Right, and I think it's just a case that we are, in our own way, we are built soldiers that just have to be refined once they go into the service. Where when you look at some of these other countries, I mean, I don't know what they could figure out what they're doing, but the problem we have now, as we talked about, is because our president is not disciplined. Right. Look at his career.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever took the Florida bar. They ought to read, not the Florida bar, he hits the main bar, but I mean, he never took the Illinois bar.
Right.
But I mean, they got to look at, we have an undisciplined head. We got a group of people sitting there who achievement very questionable and integrity very questionable. Could these people have played in your sports team? I'll bet you if you look up all four of them, I don't think they played in any sports team.
Probably not.
I think they played, they're playing games with the American, and that's unacceptable.
Didn't you see him fire that rifle? Didn't he look manly there, Mike, firing that rifle? He didn't know how to hold it.
I still can't get over the time when he showed them weightlifting with like 5 pounds of weights that my 6-year-old daughter lifts. It's like, are you kidding me? That was so embarrassing. It was unbelievable.
He looked like a black Jane Fonda with big ears.
Dumbo the clown.
Yeah. Well, actually, she looked a lot better.
But she's as whacked.
But the problem is very severe. Because not only is the president undermining American leadership around the world, undermining discipline here at home, but also undermining our readiness as a military.
Yeah, well, like the day we were talking about General Mark Welsh, head of the Air Force. He came out today and he said it very specific. He said, we have 3 to 5 years before China and Russia will field a better Air Force than us. Do you know what that does to us? I mean, I guess the people would rather discuss who delivers a cake to a gay wedding than worry about getting absolutely annihilated with nuclear bombs coming in on us.
Yeah.
And the technology that they have stolen, that's right, the right word, stolen from us, have now elevated them to the point that they're just about the equivalent of we are, and we have a few years left. And they know that we got, we got the worst running the White House, and my concern is something horrendous will happen in the next year and a half because they know no decision will ever be rendered. And the fact that if we lose our Air Force technology-wise to other Air Forces, game's over, buddy.
Well, then all the money that they want to put in the military, he wants to put into an already top-heavy government.
Well, he wants to put it into welfare.
We needed to put into that, as opposed to, I thought the president's first job was the protection of this nation.
Remember the old economic books? I'm ready to convert butter to guns, not guns to butter.
Right.
He thinks it's comic books, not economic.
Right. I want to go back to our Sunday night show for a minute, because this is like deja vu all over again, or whatever the Klingons called it in Star Trek. Because during the readings, we read from, as I said, Glenn Beck's book, Miracles and Massacres. And in that book, he writes about many military confrontations, but he talks about when Thomas Jefferson was president. In some ways, Thomas Jefferson, as brilliant as the man was, he was kind of like Barack Obama. You know, when it came to foreign affairs, they really vexed him. And of course, our founding fathers really kind of thought that that wasn't our business. But the Barbary pirates made it our business. We had been paying tribute to the Barbary pirates. He had a Treasury Secretary that said, yeah, the best thing to do is just go ahead and pay them off. You know, go ahead and pay the pirates. And then, of course, they started kidnapping Marines and hijacking ships. And Jefferson kind of didn't really know what to do. And he sent in a couple of ships to try to fix the situation. They failed. So he sent in a brand new ship called the Philadelphia. And he thought the Philadelphia might work because it had the name Philadelphia. You know, and that's where our capital had originally been. That's
psychological edge?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he sends a Philadelphia in there, it runs aground, it gets captured, and it's a disaster. The crew gets captured and made hostages and slaves. And they were treated brutally by these Barbary pirates, who of course were Muslims. And the Pasha over there was making demands, and he wanted more money. And so basically, Jefferson handed it off to the next president, James Madison, who was a very short, small man. He barely weighed 100 pounds, 5 feet tall. You know what Madison did? He built up the biggest navy the world had ever seen, the biggest naval armada the United States had ever had. He sailed them all over there to Tripoli. He parked them off the coast, and he sent a personal letter to the Pasha, to the Muslim leader, and he said, okay, you either leave us the hell alone, you give us our hostages back, or we're going to kill all of you. And we're going to do it, and we're going to slaughter all of you. We're going to destroy your cities. There'll be nothing left but rubble. Which do you want? You know what the Pasha did? He said,
turned everything over.
He sure in the hell did. You see, and it did not take the firing of one damn cannon.
Right.
All it took was the force that we could have done it with, and the will to use it, and the ability of the president to convey that message to the other guy. You see, that's the elements that we're missing. If we were to elect somebody like, let's say Marco Rubio, let's just pick a name out of the hat. Marco Rubio. And he comes in and he decides he's going to be like Reagan. He's going to want, let's say, a 400-ship Navy, and to beef up the Air Force, to bring more people into the Marines and the Army, not less. And then he issues an ultimatum. And he says, okay, you cats, either you get your act right, or we're going to come in there and we're going to whip your ass. Which do you want?
But see, you can do that when you have the edge. But again, if we lose our technology edge,
that's what I'm saying.
We're in dire problem, and we're sliding so fast with the dancing queen as president, we are jeopardizing the lives of every American soldier, every American, because the weapons now are so horrifying that, you know, we got to do something.
It starts first with the president bringing in a new attitude. The second, he begins to build the force back. That is what will begin to shake them, when they see our forces really beginning to be built back up. Okay? And then third, he issues the ultimatums in a way that they are believable.
But see, the concern now, you got a year and a half. We're going
to get from this point to there.
Yeah, right. And we're going further.
Not going to happen.
We're going to have we're going to have Philadelphias. We are going to have Philadelphias. Okay? The ship that was sent over there by Jefferson ran aground and was captured, and eventually we had to go in there and destroy it,
and you can
so that the enemy couldn't use it.
You can see in the South China Sea right now what they're doing. They're expanding, yeah. And again today they said they're going to build lighthouses further out there, and if you don't like it, too bad. Boy, does that sound like somebody that's scared to death of you?
Who's issuing the ultimatums here? The bad guys.
Right.
Because they know we got a
China. We got the dancing queen as president.
That's right.
He needs to dance out the door.
Right.
Hit the road, buddy.
Right.
You know?
That's right. You know what one of the things that scared the Soviet Union most about Ronald Reagan is because they felt that he would follow through on his threats.
Right.
They felt that he would do what other presidents they didn't think or were not sure. They knew with him he meant what he said.
I mean, two of the worst things you can ever do is continue to build your debt and lessen your military.
That's right.
That's when all societies become to an end.
And believe me, these other leaders are smart enough to look at that and see and know what's going on. Not only our foes, but our friends as well. Which is why the Saudi Arabians are now looking to Pakistan to buy nuclear weapons so they can protect themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't doing that before Barack Obama.
Right.
And Pakistan has had nuclear weapons since when? The 70s or 80s?
Yeah. There's a state.
They've had them a long time. Well, but at least they haven't used them,
and
they haven't been transferring. Other than that one doctor who was helping out Korea and Iran, and
Dr. No.
We could have killed that guy. But other than that, it's been fairly stable operation over there until now, until the Dancing Queen.
Right.
All right, we got a whole lot more to talk about, folks. And don't forget, we rise above the noise here. We're shaping revolutions of our time. Oh, now I'm stealing lines from Michelle Obama.
We're trying to start a revolution.
We'll be right back.
Destruction, tax deed.